In today's video on how it's designed, I'm going to, at a high level, cover in SolidWorks simulation the loading types of running a fatigue analysis. We're going to just at a high level cover the 4 that are available as options in SolidWorks to run. But before that, go ahead, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, share it, and also I'm going to put a free guide to SolidWorks FEA basic simulation in the description. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're not a Patreon member already, go ahead and join. You're going to get exclusive SolidWorks content. With that said, let's get started. So to start a new fatigue analysis, you would, as you normally would do, just go to a new study, or you can just click an existing tab, new simulation study. We can name it whatever title we want, and we are going to go down to advanced simulation where we see fatigue right here. You would click the one you want, but this is what we're going to cover today, guys, is these 4 loading types, and then you would hit this check mark to begin that study. This first one, guys, the constant amplitude events with defined cycles, is exactly what it is displaying there. It's going to be used in most circumstances. It's the most simple fatigue analysis to run. Basically what it means is there's a constant stress peak for alternating and mean stresses. There's no variable stresses or amplitudes. It's the constant amplitude throughout, and there's a predefined, fully defined amount of cycles or occurrences of that stress. So whether it's alternating or, just single load based in one direction, you're going to have the same mean stress throughout the entire amount of cycles. So we're in the constant amplitude environment, that first most basic option. If you go to add event, you can see it prompts us to fully define number of cycles, and our previous studies that we select from have to be all static-based loads and stresses. So since we have our static 1 and static 2 already done, those are our options here. Our next option we see is variable amplitude history data. So this is going to be where the history of the load is not constant. You're going to have variable load history of that part. So the peaks are not going to be the same, obviously. You're going to have a history of loads and fluctuation, and it's going to be based on a curve, which it will prompt you to define and select. We're in the environment of that second option with variable amplitude, and as part of defining that fluctuation history of the load, it's going to prompt you to go ahead and get the curve defined by the amplitude or sampling rate and amplitude. You're going to have to define that, and it is still going to ask you number of repeats and occurrences in the history of that fluctuating load, and also the start times. Still going to pull data from static analyses done prior. You can see the static 1 and static 2. Our third type of loading for fatigue is harmonic fatigue of sinusoidal loading. So basically, your stress results are going to be based on a sinusoidal curve and a function of a frequency. So we're in the third environment. We can also access add an event up here, but you're going to get a message right away saying you need one linear dynamic harmonic study instead of static for the previous 2. So you need a dynamic study ran in order to run this type of fatigue analysis. So you're going to get stresses according to some sort of function of frequency in hertz. For your fourth option, you get random vibration fatigue of random vibration. So instead of, you're still going to be defining stress levels based on frequency, but instead of a harmonic curve like a sinusoidal curve, it's going to be based on a curve of just random vibration frequency. So think of just a chaotic environment like an earthquake or something that's totally random vibration. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I just wanted to briefly at a high level go over the 4 loading types that you can run in SolidWorks simulation. There's a lot more to cover in depth on those 4 types, so keep an eye out for future videos on this topic of fatigue analysis. If you haven't already, again, become a subscriber to the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and look out in the description for a link to free SolidWorks guide on FEA. We'll see you next time.